library people. I'm Phil Peterson for Calcasieu Parish Public Library. It's raining outside today, and you know what that means. It's a good day to stay inside and do a craft. That's why I brought local artist Colleen Stratton to teach us how to make some books.
Yeah? You excited?
I am excited. How do you make books?
Well, it's a very easy process.
Is it really that easy? I would think it'd be hard.
It is not, and I will show you how in just a few easy steps.
Alright, you guys excited? I'm excited. Let's start.
The first thing you'll need is some paper. I am using some sketchbook paper. You can use any kind of paper that you would like. We're going to use a ruler, a pair of scissors, a pencil, 2 binder clips, an awl, that's A-W-L, a bone folder, some sewing needles. I chose yarn darning needles, but they just have to be big enough to hold the thread. And finally, the thread we're going to use today. The first thing we're going to do is to make our pages. Now I'm going to fold these sheets of paper in half, and I will use my bone folder to actually create the creases and cut the paper as well. You use it similar to the way you would use a letter opener, and I'm going to repeat this process for all sheets of paper. Next, we're going to count how many sheets we have. I think in total we ended up with 16. We're going to group them in sets of 4. So make sure that when you're doing this, you are keeping same side to same side. So if you have a rough edge, then make sure all those rough edges are on the same side. I'm doing this because this way it'll be easier for us to actually poke the holes that we will need to use to bind our book. The next thing you'll need is the ruler and the pencil. We're going to measure out where we're going to place our holes. So you're going to measure about 1/4 inch from the long edge, and this will be how thick the spine is. So however thick you want the spine to be, measure that distance from the long edge. Then from the short edge, because of how this paper is, I'm going to measure 3 inches since it's 9 inches long. And make sure to erase those spots. Make sure to erase the previous marks you made whenever you measured from the long edge. And you're going to repeat this process for all sets of 4 papers. Next, we're going to take our awl and we're going to puncture all 4 sheets of paper. So make sure whenever you are doing this process that you are being very careful, or if you need be, you have an adult present. Some of these tools are sharp and can injure you if you are not careful. What you also want to do whenever you're puncturing things with the awl is to make sure that you can see light through from the other edge. That means that it went all the way through. Next, you're going to match up all the holes, make sure everything's lined up correctly, and then you're going to use your binder clips to secure all the sheets together for one solid block. Next, you're going to take your needles. Like I said, I chose yarn darning needles. You don't need to choose a specific kind. And to make sure that it'll actually go through, I actually did have to widen the holes just a little bit, which you see me doing here. Make sure you choose a needle that is not too thick to go through the hole that you've made. if need be, like I just did, you will switch the needles out. Make sure that the binder clips are placed in such a way that makes it convenient for you to sew the book together. So make sure you have plenty good access to the holes. Make sure all your pages are lined up, just as I just did. Now we're going to get the thread. In order to measure the thread, we are going to use the length of the book itself. I chose 3 book lengths for how much thread I'm going to use. This will just give us some extra in case we need it. Next, I just used the previous thread that I had already cut to measure my other set. I chose blue and green just because I think those colors look really nice together. You can choose any colors that you want. It does not matter. Next, you're going to separate the threads. I'm just going to take 1 thread from the blue and 1 thread from the green. This way, it won't be too thick and you'll get a little bit of each color. Make sure when you're separating the threads that you do not go too fast, otherwise it will tangle. The next thing you want to do is actually wet your threads a little bit. You can use your mouth to do this, or you can just maybe wet your fingers a little bit. This makes it easier to thread the needle. So we're going to start, you can just pick a hole to start with. I chose the hole that was to my left. You're going to go through once and then wrap it around, go back through again. And then you're going to go around to the next hole, go through once, and then wrap it around again, just as we did for the previous hole. Make sure you pull it tight and also leave a little thread from the first hole, a little tail. You'll need this to tie off later. Next, you're going to go around the short ends on both sides. And you're actually going to see me mess up right here. I went through my initial hole when in reality, I actually needed to tie off right there. So it's okay to make mistakes sometimes. It's good to make mistakes sometimes so that you will learn. So in this case, I went back through the original hole and then I rethreaded my needle because I needed to do that. And then I'm going to tie a knot around the tail that I had initially left for myself. Make sure you try and tie it as closely to the hole as you can. This way, if you want to, you can actually hide the knot inside the hole. Then snip off the ends and maybe use your needle, like the eye part of the needle, to push the knot deeper into the book to where you cannot see it. And there we have it. We have a finished book.
I promise this table was just as messy from the very beginning.
I do believe you. So, what do we have now?
Well, we have a book.
Really? Is it a whole book?
It is an entire book.
An entire book, the whole thing?
Uh-huh.
Really? And so what kind of stuff can we put in this book?
Anything your little heart desires.
Anything at all?
Mm-hmm.
Scraps?
Scraps, flowers, photographs of people you love, drawings, your wildest dreams.
Awesome! So now that you know how to do it, get out there and start crafting. Stay inside on a rainy day.
Make a book.
All right. So I'm Phil Peterson.
I'm Colleen Stratton.
And this has been
Bookmaking with the Calcasieu Parish Public Library.
Thank you, and I hope to see you again soon.